Trump visited East Palestine to offer support this past week. Hear how he expressed concern over the federal response to train derailment.
Hear more information on Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg's visit to East Palestine and what he had to say regarding national support during these times.
A pizzeria based in Columbus has a unique way of handling frustration over the hiring of employees by sending a message with their sign.
Find out more about the new planet discovered right outside our solar system as Portage Pulse begins right now.
Good afternoon, Portage County, and welcome to this week's episode of Portage Pulse. I'm Nikki Gasiewski.
And I'm Joe Malbin.
A suspect has been charged in connection with the 2022 hit-and-run death of a Kent State student. Arrest warrant for 19-year-old Timothy M. Bride of Atwater was issued Wednesday. The warrant was issued in connection to the death of 22-year-old Colin Foe, who was riding an electric scooter when he was struck by a vehicle. Records show that Bride remains at large. Authorities have not indicated knowledge of Bride's current whereabouts.
The Ohio Supreme Court has ruled against the Kent Police Department. The court unanimously ordered the Kent Police Department to pay $1,000 and release all footage related to an incident that took place in April of 2022 to Matthew Luzane. Luzane requested the body cam footage from a police traffic stop that he was not involved in. The police department initially denied his request for the footage, so he took it to the Ohio Supreme Court.
The City and School of Talmadge hosted their first ever full-scale joint training exercise. The event took place during a teacher training day and focused on active shooter hostile event responses. First responders from Talmadge, Mordeaux, and Stowe participated in training. Talmadge Police Chief Ron Williams cites shootings in Uvalde and Parkland as examples of their need for cohesive responses between fire and police forces.
And homeless advocate Sage Lewis was denied his appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court after the city of Akron barred him from establishing a homeless encampment behind his property. Lewis took his case to the Ohio Supreme Court, where he was denied in September before going to the U.S. Supreme Court. Lewis commented, "The way we treat homeless people in Akron, Ohio is a crime against humanity by any measure."
During Trump's visit to East Palestine Wednesday, he criticized the federal response to the train derailment. Trump appeared in East Palestine with Senator J.D. Vance, Mayor Trent Conway, and other state and local leaders. At a firehouse, Trump said, quote, "In too many cases, your goodness and perseverance were met with indifference and betrayal." Before leaving East Palestine, Trump stopped by a McDonald's to pass out hats and order meals for first responders.
We're here today in East Palestine to show our love and support for our fellow Americans in this hour of need, and that's what it is.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited East Palestine on Thursday. The National Transportation Board, or NTSB for short, released the reports of their investigation of the train derailment that occurred earlier this month. The NTSB reported that the train was alerted 3 times by an alarm that was triggered by a hot axle prior to derailment. Buttigieg announced in a press conference the NTSB's findings are an important step toward making policy to improve rail safety.
To any national political figure who has decided to get involved in the plight of East Palestine, I have a simple message, which is I need your help, because if you're serious about this, there is more that we could do.
The federal corruption trial against former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder began Monday. Householder is accused of accepting $61 million in bribes in exchange for House Bill 6. House Bill 6 provides $1.3 billion bailout to utility companies. Former Representative Laura Lanaces, former lawmaker Dave Greenspan, and former household staffer Pat Tooley all took the witness stand. More famous testimonies are expected.
An Ohio Republican senator spoke out against his colleague after an offensive comment made about his Hindu faith. When speaking to University of Akron students, State Senator Scott Wiggum made offensive comments about fellow State Senator Niraj Antani's Hindu faith. While Antani accepted the apology later offered by Wiggum, Antani also told reporters he thinks Republicans need to do better when talking about race and religion.
A pizzeria in Columbus, Ohio is advertising to hire a select group of people. Santino's Pizzeria displayed a sign reading, "Now hiring non-stupid people." Santino's owner, Jaden Donovan, told ABC News, quote, It's more humor than anything. It's not meant to target anyone or be rude. The sign was posted 2 months ago, over frustration with hiring. A pet overboarding service in Texas was the first to use the non-stupid sign.
An Ohio bill that was postponed by Republican lawmakers in November was reintroduced Wednesday morning. Ohio Representative Gary Click reintroduced the SAFE Act. The bill would bar doctors from performing gender reassignment surgeries on minors. Click told reporters at a news conference on Wednesday that the bill does not deny health care to transgender students.
Today, Kamala Harris met with reproductive rights groups at the White House to discuss and defend an abortion pill. Hear more after the break.
And hear more about the charges against Alec Baldwin in the Rust case and how he is pleading.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. Vice President Kamala Harris defends an abortion pill facing legal challenge. Harris met with reproductive groups to defend mifepristone. The medication is used for abortions in the first 10 weeks of pregnancy in combination with misoprostol. Anti-abortion groups have brought cases against the U.S. Food and Drug Administration concerning the drug. Medical organizations have argued that mifepristone has been studied thoroughly and is safe.
The United States Supreme Court, the highest court in our land, took a constitutional right from the people of America, from the women of America.
A box of White House schedules was found by Trump lawyers in his Mar-a-Lago resort. Classified schedules were found in his Mar-a-Lago property because a junior aide to the president had moved the box from another office in Florida after the FBI completed its initial search. Trump does not seem to have played a direct role in the mishandling of the box. However, he is still under investigation for improper retention of national security documents.
A random shooting near Orlando resulted in the death of a woman, child, and reporter. A man riding a car Wednesday shot and killed a woman, child, and reporter in a neighborhood near Orlando. Reporter Dylan Lyons was covering the original shooting that killed Nathasha Augustine when he was shot and killed. The shootings have been characterized as random acts of violence and appear to have no motives.
Actor Alec Baldwin pleads not guilty to all charges relating to the manslaughter of cinematographer Helena Hutchins this week. Baldwin and the armorer on set, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, were both formally charged last month after the shooting in October of 2021 that took cinematographer Helena Hutchins' life. Earlier this week, the charges against Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed were both reduced by prosecutors. Gutierrez Reed is expected to appear in court today.
Today marks 1 year since Russia launched a full-scale attack on Ukraine.
Here to tell us about the anniversary and give some updates about the conflict is our segment anchor, Skylar Eddington. Skylar?
Hi guys, yes, today marks the 1-year anniversary of Russian forces beginning their war on Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated it was the longest day of our lives at a live news conference reflecting on the first day of Russia beginning their attacks. During the broadcast, President Zelensky got emotional, pleading for Russia to stop destroying their homes and resources. Zelensky also declared Friday that he will push for victory in 2023 because every tomorrow is worth fighting for. With Ukraine entering its 1-year anniversary of war with Russia, the Pentagon has announced a new package of long-term assistance. The United States will send over $2 billion in aid, which includes rounds of ammunition and small high-tech drones. Including this round of assistance, the United States has now committed more than $32 billion of security to help Ukraine defend their home. Many concerns have been surfacing on what happens after the war in Ukraine ends. French President Emmanuel Macron shared his opinion on it, stating Russia shouldn't be able to just come back to the table after the attacks they have made on the NATO allied countries. Allies in Eastern Europe have mentioned that it would be stomach-churning to make security pledges to a nation that has relentlessly shelled Ukrainian cities.
Some worry our support to Ukraine risks triggering escalation. But there are no risk-free options, and the biggest risk of all is if President Putin wins.
China has recently shown its thoughts on the war by calling for a ceasefire and peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. President Zelensky stated that there were points in the Chinese proposals he agreed with and some he did not. Zelensky has also mentioned that he is doing everything he can to prevent China from arming Russian forces. However, Russian Foreign Ministry stated that they are open to political and diplomatic efforts. That is all I have for you guys today. If you're interested in reading more on these stories, go to kentwire.com. For Portage Pulse, I'm Skylar Eddington. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Skylar. Researchers discovered a planet 280 light years from Earth orbiting a smaller star. The planet, dubbed the Forbidden Planet by researchers, is about the size of Jupiter and is just outside of our solar system.
The Forbidden Planet challenges commonly held beliefs of how planets form, as it is larger than the star it orbits. It will be examined more closely by researchers using the James Webb Space Telescope.
Well, I mean, I think this is kind of cool. Kind of gives me like a hope that maybe aliens are out there.
I think so.
Not that I ever believed in them, but now it's kind of interesting.
I don't know. I'm an alien believer.
Yeah.
Really?
I really do. When I was younger, I swear me and my friends saw them once, and I'm convinced ever since.
Well, I'm sort of in between. I don't know what to believe with the aliens, but
Never had an encounter yet?
Not yet, but
I mean, I would love to have like a Marvel movie in real life, but I don't know.
Yeah, they could be the actors.
I think these photos have been really cool, and I'm excited to see what they do more with the James Webb Telescope.
No, any photos from the James Webb Telescope are really cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They're really interesting to see.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's all we have for this week's edition of Portage Pulse. Thank you for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at kentwire.com.
And on social media at Kent Wired on all platforms. I'm Skylar Eddington.
I'm Joe Malbin.
And I'm Nikki Gasiewski. Have a great day, Portage County.